Let's talk about Star Wars Tales of the Empire review. Paul, you've not seen this, but I have.
So I'm just going to listen.
Yeah, you're gonna love this one. But if you remember, a couple months ago, Chris reviewed Star Wars Tales of the Empire season 1. Season 2 is out. Season 1 had 10 episodes, 10 incredible stories of women in the Star Wars universe. Overcoming women problems in the Star Wars universe. With Tales of the Empire season 2, there are 6 episodes of women from the Star Wars universe overcoming things that women in the Star Wars universe need to overcome. Focuses on 2 characters. It is a young Morgan Elsbeth, who you may remember from Ahsoka and a couple other things that I've not seen. Yeah, the Night Witch, I believe is what they call it.
Yeah.
So this is kind of her entry into the Night Witch cult there. I'll call it that. And then we move forward into Order 66, where we meet Jedi Barriss Offee. And there are 2 parallel stories going along for 2 timelines. And I will say this, you got to know a lot about Star Wars, the new Star Wars, Disney Star Wars, to understand what's going on. I do. I'll just say that my review is going to kind of focus on the idea that got Chris into trouble a very long time ago. And it's this idea that if you're going to make Star Wars a girl brand, you're going to have problems, financial problems. And this just leans right into it. Who is this for? It's for girl Star Wars fans. And look, there are women who are Star Wars fans, and they will take offense at probably anything I'm going to say about this. But it was meant for you. This was made for you. And that's okay. And if Disney feels like that they can make a lot of money off of you, and if you're going to give them your money, more power to you. I hope they make more stuff like this because that's the whole idea. It's for the audience. If you're the audience and you want to do it, give them your money. I just have to say that Star Wars was a boys brand, and it made a lot of money being a boys brand. And yes, girls watched Star Wars and they bought the toys and everything, but they made the bulk of their money off boys and not girls. And my business instinct says that this is not going to make Disney a whole lot of money, because I just don't think the boys are going to be into this series. And I don't think they were into the first one either. So it's less than a review, but more of a business lesson and a commentary on the direction of Star Wars. My instinct just tells me that Star Wars is just not going to appeal to women and girls like it did boys and men back in 1977. So there you go. More of the same. Paul, any thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are on like any of this not genre stuff, but I mean male-female stuff, is that there's things where you make it for a group, or it's the group has a natural predilection for it. So not that women don't like sci-fi, but men like sci-fi, space, mech, pew, pew, pew stuff. That's you just tend to like that. You can't say that's specifically a male thing, but we will fashion a gun out of popsicle sticks within 3 weeks of coming out of the womb, much to the chagrin of our parents. Right? You can't play with guns, but we make guns out of things all the time. That's just the nature of having a kid. If they're male, and then it's just a function of being true to what it is that you believe in, but don't purposely leave out others who might want to come and join the party. Don't push them away, but let them come if they choose. So the thing is, I would say Legally Blonde would not necessarily be a male-oriented movie, but it's one of my favorite comedies.
Well,
it goes both ways, right? You
last year, let me just mention. Last year, on the same day, on the same Friday, Barbie and Oppenheimer came out.
Right.
Both films earned $1 billion, over $1 billion. There's a market. There is money to be spent. You know, the Warner Brothers and Universal are have their hands open, and they will take your money. There is, you know, it again is business. Know your audience, cater to your audience, and they will gladly fork over their cash for it. And I think this is Disney having a vast misunderstanding of their brand, not only Star Wars but of Marvel.
Barbie did not purposely say men stay away. Birds of Prey did.
Yeah.
Well, ironically, had Margot Robbie in that also. But I saw interviews where the women were talking about, we don't care if none of the men show up. Okay, so you know, you make it for whoever it is. Like, I'm a guy, I'm going to make a movie. It will probably more than likely be for guys, like just by mere dint of that. But I will not leave anyone else out from enjoying it. And that's what Disney has done. They completely forgot the plot. You just keep making Star Wars for its core audience, and you don't ignore people of color. I mean, you've got Billy D. Williams and things like that. You don't be stupid about it. You continue to have strong women. We talk endlessly about James Cameron really liking having strong women characters in his movies. Obviously, this was something that he enjoyed having in his movies, but they were still boy movies, right?
Yeah, it appealed to men.
Appealed to men, yeah. So when I went to the midnight showing of the very first showing in Toronto of Terminator 2, it was jammed. 95% of them, 97% of them were guys.
Yeah.
And we were screaming from the word go like little girls.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
But there's nothing wrong with that. Disney is, all these other people are saying this is bad. It's not bad. I don't get that.
Right. Well, yeah, it's Star Wars was made for boys. Boys were the fan.
It was made by men who understood a boy's perspective, dealing with subjects that boys tend to like. And that's what made it a boys' brand. Not that it was.
Yeah, they were saying we need to make a movie for boys.
That they didn't do that. No one did that. They did what interested them. And the thing is, Lucas was a gearhead. He made movies about cars, things that men like, because he's a guy. So that's what made it a boy brand, just because it was done by a boy and a male and . So
yeah. And it's not that you can't make a movie for a niche audience. The caveat is you're going to get a budget, or you should get a budget that is fitting for that will make money. And you know what you'll soon learn is that if you make a successful movie for a niche audience that appeals to a broader audience, the studios will give you more money to do the exact same thing over and over again, because that's what they
also force you to maybe make it broader. But you know, one of the things that characterizes chick flicks is that it's relationships and love, whereas guy films tend to have gear porn, and I've talked about that before. Gear porn is very important in boy brands and male dominated movies. That sequence in Commando where Schwarzenegger is arming up, that's like 10 minutes. Bullets, bombs, grenades, you know. That's orgasm moment. Oh, I mean, when my son and I saw Iron Man 1, and he finally got the suit together and was being
the tin can suit. Yeah.
I mean, that was for a guy. Both suits, actually. Iron Man 1 had a sequence where someone was soldering, depending on where you come from. Soldering. Like, that's who in their right mind would have an adventure sequence with soldering? There's no chick film that would have soldering in it, right?